Hello, welcome to more Trainz route building. Welcome. The audio seems to be working, so that's good. Hello, yeah, I already said that. This is the progress that I've made, which is the first thing I'll do in the stream, to show you this. And then we're going to start work on a different bit of the route, because most of the work that still needs to be done here is placing roads and buildings, and that's quite boring. So this is what this town looks like now. I think it's a definite improvement to what it looked like at the end of the last Trainz stream. And yeah, hello Kango, hello Blue, welcome. Lots of progress. So I think we'll just fly along the tracks to start with, to see what it's like as you're coming in. So the scenery here isn't finished yet. Coming like this. When you say live, you haven't switched over, right? What do you mean? I have switched over and I'm talking. So can you? I can see my playback in the corner and it's fine. Yep. Hello, Blue? Can you see me now? I hope so. I think that's probably a little Twitch bug. So, you come across here, where in high tide or when it's a bit stormy weather, this might get partially flooded. So there's this little causeway that's been built up where the road and the tracks go across. And of course there's a sidewalk that connects the little village of Merfell Castle and this town, which I'm still working on the name. I've got a name currently set, but I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that one or not. So anyway, continue along here. I haven't put down the third rail yet on this bit. You come across here through this little cutting, and as you go under the bridge, you are greeted by a lovely view of the little bay and the harbour down there. And you go over another level crossing, and you get to the station. So, yeah, here's the station. One second. There we go. It's got 3 platforms. These 2 ones will have the third rail electrification. This one on the side, probably not. Not 100% sure yet, but probably not. So since we're here, actually I'll go out of fly mode, this is a bit easier to navigate. So yeah, this also isn't completely finished yet, but I've started. As you can see, there aren't any buildings here yet. But we've got the little road going up to the lighthouse, which you can look all the way over to Oscombe down there. We've got a little funicular that used to be used in days gone by to get goods up and down from and to the harbour to transload onto trains up there. No longer in use, obviously. And this was put together manually, the different parts of this. You've got different boats here. And yeah, a little turntable for steam excursions, things like that, so you can turn around steam engines. Up here, there's a hotel, there's another one there, a coach, of course, and bus stops. And Kanga wanted me to put down the bus stop text, which was a good choice, except that for some reason this one's turned the wrong way. Hold on. 1 second. need to actually I'll quickly do this in Surveyor 2.0. It's easier to rotate on the correct axes. I know that this isn't the most modern markings, but I couldn't find anything else on the DLS. Right, so actually, there we go. Right, then over here, you've got level crossing, some speed signs, little playground, some residences, bus stops, that sort of thing, and then a little meadow for dogs. So, of course, you've got the bins for the dog poop. And then as you continue along here, you get past the back gardens, come to this place where another level crossing, you've got the gas tanks down there. And then, yeah, it continues on, still not finished, of course. You've got this little modern section up here where you've got great views. If you live here, you go out onto the balcony, you've got great views of the bay. And yeah, come onto this bridge. The church up there, of course, not finished yet. And then as you come around here, you can see the steep gradient going down. And there'll be buildings up here as well on this hill. Yeah, and this just continues down onto over another level crossing and then onto the causeway. And over here is another inn or something like that, maybe a small hotel, some palm trees and things like that. And yeah, so that's basically what I've done since last stream. I also spent a whole bunch of time looking through thousands and thousands of assets to find station buildings and houses and cottages and all that sort of stuff to gauges. But yeah, I'm quite happy with this progress. But as for the actual building portion of this stream, I was thinking we could get started on the layout of one of the terminuses, because currently I've got plans to have one terminus up here. Actually, I'll just zoom in a bit like that. So one terminus up there, and then another terminus down here. And I was thinking to do the track layout for this terminus, which is going to go right here, because this will be milepost 0. So, yeah. Right, chat. Okay. So nice. Oh. If you can write on bus stop flags, that's an Easter egg waiting to happen. Yeah. I don't think on those, I'm not sure on those bus stops, on that specific asset, but it's a nice idea. Hey, show off your assets properly, Shardise. Oh, well, if you want. So, this is an asset that I made a couple days ago. I'm sure you know what this is used for, right? And then also this one, which I'm sure you also know what it's used for, because in so many of my UK routes that I've done over the years, I never had, well, specifically this one, but not this one either, and so made them there on the DLS. Plus they've also got LOD meshes, so if you get further away, it's less processing power. Right. Would be so neat if Trainz allowed you to change water levels in sessions. Just imagine a stormy session with the causeway flooded. I mean, I suppose with the new, you might be able to turn effects layers on and off. I'm not sure if that's a thing, if you can do that in sessions. Milepost 0, yes, where everything will be counted from. So this will be the London-inspired city, yes. On Friday. Friday? Well, that's trash. Well, what's inside is trash, I do believe. So, it's time to remove the pin. And, well, The order in which we do this is going to be important. So actually, let's just zoom out a little bit and have a look at the actual planned layout. So this is where the terminus will be. We've got a line coming in from over here, and then this Y here. There'll be a station in this corner as well, which means tracks coming in from both sides. So essentially the two main lines, because we've got, so the tracks that go off on the left is the line that continues all the way down here and this branch and all the way down there on that branch. So this whole area comes in from the left, and then the right is basically this rightmost area there with any potential other branches that I've not planned out that I may or may not add. So most traffic will be coming from the left, some will be coming from the right, and that means this will be very busy. So we're going to have those tracks come in there, so then we're going to have crossovers after the Y comes together, and then going into all the different platforms. Okay. Now, do I put down the platforms first, or actually, so I want this station to be inspired by like Paddington or Victoria or the old Euston station or things like that. So let's start with a roof, because the size of the roof, not that bit, the size of the roof will kind of determine how many platforms we'll have, because that will determine what will fit, basically. I did download a whole bunch of station roofs, didn't I? Well, this is one of them. This is specifically London Bridge station roof. Although that looks fairly good. I like the idea of having it be curved. That's all the different stuff. That's not what I wanted. You made this asset on Friday. Oh, right. But chumz. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's roof-mounted stuff. Yeah, because I downloaded a whole bunch of like roof-mounted ads and things, which I know are more of an American thing, but I think they might fit somewhere. Right. Nope, that's the wrong thing. Ah, here we go. So this is called Station Roof Small Green Steelwork. Oh, this is the small station roof, I see. Ooh, that looks nice. That looks to have a lot more detail. There are lamps built into this. I wonder if those turn on. Let's quickly save, and then I'll turn it to nighttime for a second. Okay, I've now turned it to nighttime. And to prove that, look outside if you're watching live, and you'll see that it's nighttime. Actually, I will also... Oh no, there we go. Ah, so it does have a night mesh, so that's very nice. I will say that is a plus, a thing that's speaking for this asset. There's another asset beside it. This one... Ooh, this one's also illuminated. Okay, good. Right, so these are kind of the two main assets. Ooh, hold on, was there? No, that's fine. The two main assets that I've kind of downloaded. So this other one is called Station Roof Glasgow Queen Street. Ah, right, so this is the Glasgow Queen Street station roof with a little extension on the right side, it looks like. Actually, let's have a look at the author and see if that author has made anything. Oh, by the way, here are those two new assets. You can see what they're called. Oh, also, by the way, the MVR is now available on a preview, not preview pass, the gold membership thing. So yeah, really excited about that. Right, so what was the author again? Actually, I'll just search for the asset. Station roof small. James 73. Okay, James, let's have a look and see if you've got anything more. James 73. And let's look for roof. Okay. Okay, that's an older version of, like, from 1985. The version of Glasgow Queen Street that I have is from 2010, like the version of it. Large green steelwork. Let's download that one as well. Some houses that I do not need currently. And what's this? Oh, roof support. Let's get that one, and yep, that looks to be it for now. So let's have a look. The other one I downloaded was this one, which is just a larger version of this asset. So how does it look height-wise? It's a little bit higher. I think to really tell, I'd have to lay some temporary track in it to kind of get a sense of the scale, what it would really be like to have a train running through these. So I'll quickly go over, get the track asset. Do you still plan on having French pot on this map? I don't know about the names. Maybe. Paddington, but third rail. Oh, small. Pff. Oh wow, it is nighttime. Oh, that looks great. We're using that. Needs a big clock in the center of that glass wall. Yay, so happy to hear that. Honestly, it's about time. 4 years almost. Finally, it's gonna pay off. But yeah, Okay, so let's get this track asset. Let's hop over here again. Let's see. If I put... Ooh, I need to get rid of the grade. Let's just put 2 parallel tracks under here. And then let's copy them over. Sort of like that. Let's have a look. Actually, might as well place my train for scale. There we go. Right, so this is the small roof. Okay. And then we've got the big... Oops, didn't mean to do that. Then we've got the big roof over here. Tough to say, it really is. Because I was thinking, either we could have one big roof, or we could maybe have have like 2 small roofs side by side like that. Actually, what sort of train length does this roof support? Let's have a look. Did not mean to select those. Yeah, that's one thing that's a little bit annoying with Survey 2.0. With all the assets being in the same category with selection, it's easy to accidentally... Actually, hold on, that's not quite right. Hold on. There we go. It's easy to accidentally select the wrong object. Right, so move that forward. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so about 9 cars. Now, I think the longest train length I kind of want here is 12 cars, which I believe is well, it's just 2 sets of 6 car trains. So what we could potentially do... Actually, how would this look if it's just kind of moved into itself? Like that. Will that be very glitchy? No. Apparently not. Although I'm not sure what it would look like at nighttime. So we might have something like that, where we've got one that's longer than one platform, well, one roof that's longer than the other one, and that one then has the longer platforms for the long trains. One second, let me just get this about right, like that. Yeah, something like that. So one ends here, and then either, well, we could have it the other way, so that, actually that probably makes more sense. So if we had this one kind of coming back to around there, actually that's very nicely placed. So platforms on this side will probably end around here, and platforms on this side will continue up to there. So then these will already be able to come over and merge together, which actually, now that I'm looking at it, this is pretty much what I did on the MVR as well, where I had the longer platforms on the left and the shorter ones on the right. I do like the idea of having 2 smaller ones more than having one really big one. And I do like this style of station roof as well. So I'll keep that. Can delete those 2 tracks. I suppose we could just have the platforms extend longer without, well, and then have individual platform roofs on whichever side's extending. Which actually, it might be fun to have the middle couple of platforms be the ones that are capable of supporting 12-car long trains, or 12-coach long trains, so that the outer ones can already begin to merge in as they get to that point. That might be smart design. Well, intelligent design in a way. So let's have a look. First, I'm gonna take that train, move it onto a different bit of track. That's so it's not in the way. And I'm also going to add 3 more cars. So that's number 9, 10, 11, 12. Save. And here we have a British Railways Engineering Limited Class 465 for scale. Well, perhaps. So that's 12 coaches, 12 cars, 12 coaches. Don't mind the bad level of detailing on these yet. The work in progress, they don't even have a coupler yet. So, I think we should probably start by figuring out which platforms we want to use. So I have downloaded a whole bunch of platforms, including ones that Marquez made. Actually, the SAM platform. No, these are these ones aren't the ones I want. Right, so I've got these platforms, and then I've got the just tarmac without the side walls that needs to have the side walls placed onto it, which is, I believe this asset is the one that works with that one. Yeah, so like that. I think these ones are probably good because, I mean, we don't really need... Actually, tell you what. Let's have a look at like platform. Yeah, they don't have... Oh, right, yeah. I remember I was here not that long ago, yeah. But yeah, so they don't have the yellow lines here, which makes sense, considering trains are only going to be going very slowly here. You don't need to worry about being sucked onto the tracks by the vacuum created by the trains going through. So yeah, you've got the what are they called? The bumps for blind people to feel the edge so that they're getting close to the edge of the platform. Anyway, you've got that, and you've just got basically the tracks, and they've got very wide platforms. So although on this platform it's actually the stones, flagstones. Okay, so we're not going to use this one. Let's have a look, because I do have this as well, which has flagstones. The only issue is that it's slightly flickery in the middle. It's ever so slightly flickery, which I don't think that that's too much of an issue, because like I have already used no, not here, this is Stuckley, over here at Pennycampton. Yeah, I've already used that here, and if you're driving the train, you're coming in, you don't notice it. Only if you're there, you might notice it very slightly, but I don't think that would be an issue. And I like the idea of having the flagstones there quite a lot. So what would that look like? If I, hold on. Just to there for now. Of course, we'll need to raise the roof slightly because, well, it's meant to be on the platforms. Actually, I just thought of something, but we'll see if that'll come up or not, as the case may be. New Abbott platform. No, that's a through station. That wouldn't be a good representation. Tactile paving. Ah, yes. Wow, no yellow lining in terminal stations. Didn't know that. Could contact the author to fix the flickery paved platform. Better sooner rather than later. Yeah, is this one made by Marquee? No. Nexus J, I think. Anyway, might do that after, if it's an issue. Nexus DJ. That's probably a bit better than Nexus J, or whatever I said. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to place these so that the edge is exactly lined up, and then I'm going to move it in to see where it overlaps, because the edge bit that I'm placing now does have a bit of a bevel to it. So I move that in. You can see that's the point where it's intersecting, although I can move it down slightly. Ooh, that's the wrong one. Ooh, I didn't... Yeah, I need to move the central one. Otherwise I'm just moving the single vertex, and that's not good. If I move that in to about there... Hold on, why didn't that move the other one? Did I not place this properly? Just about lined up there. Oh, I didn't. Oh, maybe I didn't undo far enough. Hold on. Just stuff like that. And then the middle one. Move that over to where the tactile paving kind of intersects. And then, actually, if I move this... Actually, if I move that up, then it's going to be floating, isn't it? Hold on. Actually, no, it's got a little bit of give underneath. That's nice. Okay, so if I have it just about like that, I think that looks nice. All the way along. Although I do need to move it in ever so slightly more here, because here I've still got a very slight sliver of the tarmac, which I didn't have on the other side. So I'm just going to ever so slightly move that in like that. There we have one platform. Now, these platforms do need quite a bit of room. So let's just see how many... Actually, I'll put tracks on it first, and then we can see how many platforms fit side by side under this roof. Also, I need to have a look at how close I should place them to the edge. I think around that distance might be good, actually. To make sure that it's straight, I'm going to move it over to the side so that the sleeper just collides with the wall of the edge, because then I know that I've got it aligned. There we go. On this side as well, just about like that, and this one needs to be brought forward a little bit, just about like this. And I think as for distance, I think something like that is, well, like this is probably fine. Let's get our train over just to, actually that's too much. Too much, too long. Need to place that there. Rotate vehicle, place that one on there. Let's have a look. Yeah, so actually that looks like a good distance. There's a little bit of a gap there, just a little bit of a wiggle room, so to say. But that's pretty close. Yeah, that's nice. That's a good distance. Yeah, he made many UK assets for trains. Rolling Stock 2. Question: What will go on the sides of the big station? HS wall? I don't know. So the station will remain at ground level, yes? What do you mean? Do you mean if it's going to be on the platform or not? Well, yeah, because I said I'm probably going to move it up so that it's just sitting pretty much on the platform like that. Oh, you meant as in on the topology, if it's going to be on a hill. No, it's gonna remain at ground level 0, I do think. If not, it's very easy to move up and down. I can just change. I mean, I might have it on a bit of an embankment because I might have... Not sure. Well, we'll see. Because the station itself, along with the whole junction stuff, all the way up to here where it splits off, that will all be on the same level. So I can just I will be able to just box select the whole thing and then move it up and down. So that's not going to be an issue. Right, so that's a track there. Now, as for the distance, I found a good kind of rule of thumb with these tracks, because the distance between the tracks is, I think, 6 foot for the UK. So a good rule of thumb is to kind of move them together so that there's just a little bit of ground texture shining through the ballast like that. And you can measure it as well. Hold on, there was a ruler, metric imperial. So they've just made it a regular spline. So if I click and select from there over to there, you can see that's pretty much 6 feet. Oh, hold on. Yeah, that's 5.9 feet, like that. So that's pretty good. So now, since this station is actually aligned to the grid, it's at a rotation of 90 degrees, I should theoretically be able to select these platforms. If I hold Control and move it over, I can just clone it. Can I? No, I can't. I can't change the rotation of the selection, unfortunately. That would have just made things a lot easier. Hold on. If I undo it, did I already move? No, okay. If I just select both of them, so that now if I've just selected it without right-clicking, the middle gizmo is still in the middle of the selection. So now if I just clone it from here, that will be still the same point that I want to rotate around. So now I can grab that, and I might be able to rotate at 90 degrees. Is that 90 degrees? Might be. Who knows? Although that's odd. Why isn't it centered properly? Huh. Odd. Hold on. If I just move it back a bit, about there. On this side, actually I need to move it away ever so slightly more. Although the rotation isn't perfect. Well, it's good enough. I can do it manually. What would be nice, I mean, you can select multiple vertices, but you can't move multiple vertices together. So that's a bit unfortunate. But it's fine. So if I just move that to touch the sleepers again, then move this over just so that the tarmac disappears, just like that. Do it on the other side. Oh, actually, I've just had an idea. It might be wise to do the platforms on the center first, so that the pillars between the two roofs are actually aligned to the middle between the two platforms. So these are going to be in the middle. And then we'll see how much space we've got for tracks in the rest of the platform, because if I just keep adding platforms from one side, then, well, we might run out of space. Right, so I'm to select both these assets. And I'm gonna move it over again. That's a little bit too little space, I need a little bit more. That seems okay, right? That's a little bit too much. I'm just looking at the space between the edge of the sleepers and the edge of the wall. Actually, hold on, it might be better if I built from this side, because we don't have the shadow on this side. Yeah, that seems pretty much the same. Let's just quickly get a unit in here to see. If we look at the step, yep, that looks good. Although maybe a tiny little bit more might be nice. A little bit further away, just so we've got a little bit of wiggle room. Just like that. Let's see. The train you meant, okay. Terminus Ground Zero. Terminus at Ground Zero. Apocalypse horror novel, title and half, right there. Oh wow, the box select the whole thing. Forgot that. Oh, it's a regular spline? Wow. What do you mean, what's a regular spline? So, can you measure around curves too now? Actually, I suppose you should be able to. Although I'm not sure how it works with... Let's see. Well, you can see it measures the different sections. But yeah, so that's 176 feet, 152 feet, and 166.7 feet, 0.9 feet. It looks a bit like a monorail track. Also, I would advise with these rulers, don't get rid of them by pressing undo, because I've had a bug where the label didn't go away. Just select it and delete it. If at all, it'd be 180 degrees. Well, yeah, you know what I meant. But yeah, the tarmac disappears. Shared ice could also space it so tracks go on either side of the center pillars. Well, theoretically, yes. But I don't think that that's very realistic. I think in real life on all these stations, the pillars are on the platforms, especially also if I want to raise the roof slightly so that the bit is actually sitting on the platforms. It would be floating otherwise. But we'll see. Right, so now we have two platforms, two tracks. So can I select these bits like that? Yeah, and one good tip is with Surveyor 2.0, if you want to select stuff and you're not sure, if you add to the selection, you're not sure what you'd be selecting, if you hold Alt, the eyedropper will show you the name of the object that you're about to select. So if you just move the mouse pointer to a specific location, then hold Alt or Option to get the eyedropper, and it says the correct name, the name of the asset that you want to select. Then without moving the pointer, hold Shift, select. And that way it's guaranteed to select the object that, well, that you were going to select. So that's quite useful, unless in this specific, all right, there we go. Hold on, why won't it select that? I've said it now, oh, there we go. Sometimes it can be a little difficult between selecting objects and the ground texture. Right, so now that we've got this, let's move it over to this. Ooh, that's wrong. Yeah, you have to select the middle one, not the vertex one. Let's move it over so that we've got it sitting in right in the middle of where the pillars are. And then move it across again. So it's just sitting right where the pillars are, although that's not precise. One second, I need a little bit more over. Actually, I can get it a bit finer if I deselect, if I move the gizmo over. So if I deselect, hold on. If I deselect this spline, then reselect it, it's moved the gizmo over here, which means it's closer to the camera, which means it'll be easier to move in smaller steps. Also, that appears to have been slid back a little bit. Odd. Right. So there's no platform in the absolute center. Well, I think this is better, because then you can just move between those two platforms as well. Wow, also has a 3D model now. Sure does. You could already do it in Classic Surveyor. If you pressed G for grab tool, it would display the name of the asset you'd hover over, and then you could press M, R, H, whatever to manipulate it. True. But this is, I meant specifically with adding to the selection, because if you want to move a whole bunch of stuff, a bunch of assets, and you very specifically need to shift click each one to add to the selection, then if you add the wrong one, it can mess up the selection. But it's really neat. Station invisible? Yeah, will do. But first I want to actually get the design ready, because some stations, I'm not sure if they work completely right in Tiers 22. The AJS invisible one, I'm not sure which one specifically, but the one that is very versatile, that one works, I think, still. I do like that a lot. Right, now let's copy this over. That's the wrong thing. Yeah, you have to be careful to select the actual group selection gizmo, not the vertex selection gizmo. Move that whole thing over. And I'm going to move it so that it's just fully on the thing. Right. So you can see now that we don't actually have that much space for more tracks, unless we wanted to, well, I think, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 platforms. I mean, these platforms, actually 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 8 platforms. Let's see. I suppose I could maybe, so this platform in the middle, if this weren't double width, although I suppose if I did make this standard width, then it would have to share, like the actual platform would have to share 2 tracks, which would just double the crowding on it, so that might not be a good idea. I suppose I could just, well, Actually, I'm just thinking, and then I want to say something, but then I've remembered something else, and then I changed my mind about saying that thing. Could put chops in there? Wouldn't it be good to copy those over to the other tracks as well while you're at it? What do you mean? Oh, the station of visibles. It's easier to design this way, because otherwise I'll have to select not just the track, but the track, well, the station, the track, the platform. Whereas this way it's just platform, track, which isn't in the middle, which makes it easier to select. Free platforms walled off to the public on the either end. I'm not sure. So I do like the width of this platform. That's very realistic. As for the space in the center, I suppose there could be a single track in there. That might look unique. Ooh, although, hold on, that's not aligned properly. Why isn't that aligned properly? That's weird. Guess I'll have to fix that now. Wasn't it aligned properly on this side? No, that's fine. Huh, very weird. Very strange, which actually means that this isn't moved over as far as it should be. Oops. Come on. There we go. That should be moved over ever so slightly more. And then lengthwise, now that does go a little bit further, but that's fine. I can fix that later. You can still kind of look through there. Hold on, I'll undo that selection. Move it back, or deselection rather. I'll move this one back over a little bit as well. And this one too. Then I'll need to move this one over a little bit as well. Just sort of like that, save. Or an elevated bit for passengers, maybe? What do you mean, elevated bit? Actually, can I fit 2 more tracks in there? Ooh, the answer is probably yes, actually. Although I'd have to see about the edge of the platform edge, if there's enough space for that. Although I could potentially just move those in a bit closer. Very interesting. If I've got this sort of there, widthwise, if I just move it up slightly, that won't work because it curves down. That's not quite right. Although, can I rotate this? No, you can't rotate splines, unfortunately. So I can't, like, I was thinking I could maybe lift it up a bit to hide the asphalt, but since the edge spline row kind of slopes down, you can see that it's poking through, which isn't ideal. So the only way I could really have this is if it's kind of like how it is now, where we've got a little bit of tarmac there, which actually doesn't look that bad. Maybe they did some updating work on that. Shows a bit of age. I think that might look quite nice, actually. Yeah, I'm happy about that. There. Where there's a space right now. Maybe a first story landing thing? Not sure how to describe it. I don't know what you mean. Plus, having only 8 tracks for a terminus as big as this doesn't really fit very well. Like, let's have a look at something like, hold on. Let's have a look at something like Paddington track plan. How many do they have here? Yeah, 8, 9, 10. They've got 12 tracks. Well, actually, no, they've got 14 tracks. Sorry, I didn't see those. And I really want that sort of feeling. Having what looks like, because you can see that there's pretty much enough space to fit more platforms in there. If this whole thing was just flattened as walking space, that would feel kind of a waste to build these huge stations and then not cram as many tracks as possible in there. But wouldn't the updated platform mirror over to the other side as well? What do you mean? That's 0.03 height. You can read that down here in the corner. So then if I clone this, change the position to 0.03, we'll just move that to probably like that. Yeah, if you're just looking at the platforms like that, yeah, that's not an issue. That, if anything, that makes it look more interesting. I really like that. Okay, so now theoretically, I should be able to just clone that whole section, moving it over to here. This is so much faster than it would be with Classic Surveyor. Okay, so I think sort of there. I think that's centered-ish. I'm looking at the spline points. Needs to go over a little bit more like that. Okay, now let's check the other side. Yep, okay, so that's 10 tracks, well, 10 platforms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, sorry. Yeah, because I added a double on both sides. I was still thinking about this as one track going through the middle. Sorry. Yeah, so 12 tracks, 11 platforms, if you count this as one platform. And that's quite good. Although I do need to select all of these and straighten them. So might as well do it all in one go. So straighten spline and save. So will the entire station be electrified? You mean third rail electrification, or do you mean like electric lighting and that sort of thing? Yeah, the entire station will have third rail electrification, yes. Except for maybe if I want like a Royal Mail platform, or I don't know. Why not? Why not? Okay, so now the middle ones, I think maybe if we get the middle 4 platforms, if we drag those out to 12 car length, I think that might be good. So let's see, how long would that actually be? I'm just going to add a temporary track, just running down the middle. And then I'm going to put this train on. So this one's the 12 car length one. I'm just gonna align it so that... Actually, that's a good point. Because how am I gonna end this? I might need to move the roofs back a bit or clone them back a bit. Because I obviously need to have kind of a cap and then a little plaza or something over here. So I'm just gonna move the train till it's about there-ish. If we imagine buffers being like here or maybe a little bit further back, something like that. Yeah, you're right. The Class 465 in the big station does look very good. I agree. But just look at that. Very fancy waiting rooms they have here. With the shadows cast on it as well. Yum. Yeah, it does look very nice. Like, it's just a natural it's just its natural habitat. Right, so this will be a little bit more tedious because I can't move all of the spline points together, unfortunately. But it does give an indication for how long the platforms need to be. Actually, how long are HST sets usually? Ooh, that gives Hornby. No, I want HST services and fleet. Is this what I want? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 cars in total. On that one. Let's have a look. Oh, that's not what I wanted. 8 to 12 cars? 9 apparently, sorry. That's fine. That's fine. That's interesting. Okay, so the point is 12 cars is fine for platform length. So now it's a question of just moving these spline points down far enough. So let's give a little bit of leeway. So about like that. Seems good. And let's just align the first 4 platforms with that. I think that'll be nice. Because most of the services will probably be maybe, I don't know, 6 or 8 car length. Just guessing. But some of the longer services that'll run just along the main high density main lines. Yes, the main lines will be 12 cars. Or that's the plan, at least at the moment. Okay, so let's just align that. Oh, there's a link. Oh, they built the last one in 82, and yet they're still being used. That's a pretty long lifetime, especially for like an express passenger train. Does it say is there any specific reason why you linked this? Like, does it say about the length? In June 2019, between 12 and 20 oh no, that's HST sets, not length. He doesn't say coach or car length, it just coaches. Oops. In early... no, it doesn't say. It doesn't say. Anyway, I'm sure this will be fine. Right, so move that one over. 8 car and 7 car were used too, apparently. Okay, but nothing longer than 12 cars. And if there were, then, well, it'll just be longer than the platform. Hold on, how many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, good. Good. 7, 8 respectively. Oh yes, without the power cars. Okay, let's just line this up. This is so much easier than it would have been in Classic Surveyor, because just being able to move the spline point along one axis is so useful. Okay, now just these 2 platforms. So we've got 4 long platforms and the rest are a bit shorter. How many did we say would fit in here? 9 cars, I think. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 9 cars. That's fine. 9 cars is fine. Oh, right, and I need to... Actually, do I need to extend this? Huh. Actually, well, yeah, I do. I was thinking that it might be fun to leave that as the tarmac, to imply that these platforms were extended later on. But then that wouldn't really work with the whole length of the where all the switching stuff starts. Also, I guess we're extending this platform as well, because if it's on both sides, then we might as well. So this track, so it's instead of 4 tracks being that length, it'll be 6 tracks. Or 6 platforms. So, yeah, so then we'll have 6 platforms be 12 cars, and then 6 platforms be the shorter 9 cars. That sounds nice, doesn't it? I think it does. And that's what matters. Okay, so do that till about there. And then this one. And then that one just to about there. Right. Hey, fine could be a place name for this route. Yeah, but you might need to worry to get fined if you go there, or if you don't go there, maybe you get fined. Finevale, maybe. Finevale Heath. That sounds nice. Could use the NSC platform signs too. Maybe platform number thingies. Nameable. Well, maybe. Would be nice. Okay, so let's get rid of this middle track thing there. Yeah, that does look good. I like how that looks. So I'm not sure if I want to have canopies along here. Actually, maybe, do I? I probably do. Oops. This one might be nice. How wide is that? I would just kind of center it as best I can. And then just have it kind of line up here-ish. Although, might be worth just to have it extend slightly beyond it. This particular canopy also has an end bit. Interesting. I do have other canopies as well. No, I like the ones with the glass in. That one's the one I used on the MVR. And that one's the ones I used there. That one, no. Actually, let's have a look at the one I used by the beach station. By the way, the temporary kind of name for the town, which may grow on me, I don't know, is something that I can't remember. Hold on. Yeah, it was Hadley Head. Hadley Head. Next station is Hadley Head. This train terminates here. Because, of course, like a headland and Hadley Head sounds quite nice, I think. So we do also have this station roof, which does look nice, but that's an object. I can't extend that, sorry. That's an object. That's from the Truro station marquees thing, which, by the way, I need to put signs over there. So, yeah, this is not Truro, even though the station might currently say that it is. It's lying, I promise. So, yeah. Actually, might be fun to just fly from here to where the new station is, just to get a sense for the distance. So just continue from here, and I will go via the bits that I've already built. So go from there, along here. And yeah, so we'll turn left here, even though we could go either way and get there. Actually, could we? Well, theoretically, yes. But we'd have to loop back around anyway. Now, we could go right and go there, but let's go this way because I've already built this way. Even though, yes, I know it's not finished and bits of it needs to be updated. I know. Right, so this just needs to go that way, and then comes into here. So that's the distance from all the way from Hadley Head. I like that name. All the way to here. Nameable. This particular canopy also has an, yeah, I already read that. Hadley Head, no, with E-I-G-H, Hadley Head. All aboard. Wow, feels so realistic. Completely so. The bits that are there just seem realistic. So good. Oh, I like it. Right, so this canopy seems to be the best one that I've got installed, and also the best one for this area currently. So let's see. Just kind of eyeballing where the center would be. Yeah, that kind of looks centered. Now, how are we going to do this bit in the middle? I guess we're just going to have a platform in the middle like that. Canopy in the middle like that. By the way, did I actually align this so that it's completely straight? Hold on. I'm just gonna move it over to the side so that the pillar's just kind of touching the white there. And it's, well, it needs to be moved over to the left ever so slightly. So this needs to be moved over to the left around like that. And then around like that, which means that that's not completely aligned with that, so I need to move the whole thing to the right ever so slightly so that it fits in perfectly into the middle of the pillar, which actually that looks really nice. Hold on. Look at that. It looks like they've actually fitted it to that pillar. That looks really good. And then this dot needs to be moved to the left ever so slightly as well. Two his then, back to back. Lay from lay a woodland clearing. Yeah. Hadley Head. Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it is. Right. I will just bring this back slightly to just about there. Okay. I won't worry about the end bits yet. I can always add those later. Don't really want to fiddle around with those details currently. So let's instead think. Actually, hold on. I was going to say, let's think about all the crossovers. But I have this window open. Haha. So let's go to Victoria, which is where? Up here somewhere. I always have trouble finding London Victoria. Now that's Charing Cross. Ah, there we go. That's Victoria. So if we have a look, so we've got, so as the, actually, if I go into this view, that makes it a bit clearer. Although, is that all actually properly represented? It does appear to be. So, right, we've got the tracks coming out there, and then it looks like we've got some initial crossovers where, okay, actually let's have a look on this side. Well, we've got basically 10,000 tracks coming in this way. Some of them end here, what is this bit? Oh, do they? Oh, those go into those platforms. Okay, right. So anyway, let's just focus on these tracks. So we've got 4 tracks coming in, and then they split off here, where they are splitting off, but they're also merging together at the same time. Like if you follow these 2 tracks there, it splits off to those 2 platforms, but then the one next to it also splits off. So this platform here, you can already go reach those 2 tracks. And as it goes on, I mean, obviously these need to cross over because the tracks on the right go into the depot area. So it looks like we've got crossovers here, and then we've got some more crossovers there. Okay, chat. London jump scare. Oh, Shadow of Khan, hello. Hey, yeah, it's been a while. I've been there. Haha. Yeah, London Victoria is a very nice station. Same, ages ago. Hey, yes, a lot of time has passed, but here I am. Right, so let's get started with all this sort of stuff. First of all, how many tracks are we going to have? So I'm thinking, and now that I've thought, no. So we have 4 tracks coming this way. The 2 on the left are the slow tracks, the 2 on the right are the fast tracks. It's a very busy station. That's what it is. Yes, it is. I once had a couple of hours that just to wait there. But anyway, it's better than waiting at a bus station. So, right, so we've got these 4 tracks going straight because the 2 slow tracks are going to branch off and then go underneath the fast tracks. And the slow tracks are going to go back here and then connect up with this line that goes onto the rightmost, the eastern main line. And then the 4 tracks are going to continue along this way. So we've got 4 tracks here, all this way through here, and then it does split off here. So yeah, because I'm not sure if I want to extend the line going that way, or maybe it just want to have portals there or something for maybe trains that come off map to enter from. Although if I've got this terminus up here, maybe this isn't going to be a terminus. Maybe the lines do continue from here. Who knows? Anyway, we've got lines going that way. So the slow lines going that way, and then we've got lines going to the right. Now, is this still going to be 4 tracks going through here? I think yes. Yeah, because we're gonna. I want to have like circle trains, basically, trains that go down along here, and then that take this Y, and I'm probably gonna have another station here for those trains in Oscombe, because we've got Oscombe Beach and maybe Oscombe Town or something, and those go over here and then take this Y, and we've already got a station planned there. And then they come back up around here and go in this loop, basically, in both directions, along with the regular other trains. So having this be 4 tracks makes sense. So then this is already quite close to the station approach. So we could split it up. So we've got 2 tracks going that way, 2 tracks going that way. But I think in the interest of making this look busy and having more tracks, which is incidentally directly opposed to the interest of performance, but it'll probably be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure to not have too much detail that you can't see really in this area. I think having 4 tracks going this way is good. So we've got 4 tracks from that side coming in, and then from this side, I think 2 tracks is fine. So we have 2 tracks going that way, 2 tracks going this way. So then we'll have 6 tracks in total that need to cross over each other to get into the station. I think that'll be fine. That I've heard. Glad to have an actual account of it though. Unfortunately, the BR Class 442 doesn't run there anymore. But oh well. Strong disagree. Bus station better. Well, if you're more into buses than trains, sure. But just from an architectural point of view and from a space point of view, I find big stations like that more interesting to wait at. You've got more shops to look at, you've got a bigger area to walk around at and stuff like that. But there are, of course, pros to bus stations as well, especially if you're more interested in buses. Depends on the bus station. I'd say Slough. Could call it Blau instead. Ha ha ha. Circle line. Unfortunately, I missed the beginning. What for nice things are we building? New track from UK to Germany? Well, I mean... Well, certain people might want to build new tracks crossing the channel, maybe over a bridge, but I'm not going to do that. I might do that in OpenTDD, but not in Trainz. Apples 20 tons from London to Paris. Perry. Do I smell Citaro? Ha. Luxus SUV from Aberdeen to Berlin. Ha. Alright, so yeah, what we're building the track layout for the terminals up here. Because I'll quickly show you the stuff that I built over here in what I'm currently calling Hadley Head. So yeah, this is kind of what I built between last stream and now. It's not finished yet, obviously. Last time I did the terraforming and stuff, but yeah, so it's basically track work, houses, some detail work, that kind of looks quite nice, I think. This is also such a nice spot for like Steam rail tours if you're a rail fan and you're standing here watching the trains rush by. Yeah, so that's kind of what I've built. But the main work here that remains to be done is building roads and placing buildings. And that is quite boring quite quickly. So instead, we're doing the track layout for one of the terminuses. Victoria Station was nice, but I was more interested in picturing the buses outside. It was my first chance to see a lot of different buses after all. Ah, well in that case, that's different then. Did you see any verses around? Not sure if London's got them now. That looks really good. Thank you. Didn't know London had any, to be honest. Apparently they did. And there's a link. I remember seeing buses with that hump on the back. I think is that hydrogen powered or that big thing on the back there? I did see buses that had that when I was last in London, but I'm not sure if it was these particular ones. Anyway, right, let's continue building. So we'll have 6 tracks coming in. Now, I think the angle for the Y is good, like it is now, if this is enough space. So let's put down the 6 tracks. Actually, I'm going to place one right on the line so that we can be sure that it's straight. I'm going to pull it out to about there. I'm going to straighten it. And then you're going to move it over to the side and move that one in. That looks like about 6 feet distance between the rails. Move that. Oops, that's the wrong handle. Need to make sure to actually. Oh yeah, and sometimes it doesn't, like undo doesn't really undo moving splines sometimes, which is a bit annoying. Alright, EVs with the pod. Okay, interesting. Right, so guess I'll just move these over again. Actually, no, I don't even need to because I'm gonna have 6 in total. Then I'll just clone them. Aha! What will you do then if I clone you? Nothing because of your track. So move that there. So we've got 6 tracks coming in, which I'm sure you'll agree is plenty in terms of tracks for this particular instance. And they are lined up with the station, which is good. Clone me, isn't one already too many? Too many, no. But enough, yes. So, right, what's the length going to be of a crossover? Actually, I've got a cunning plan. Why not consult the map again? Because you can measure distance. Now, if I can only find Victoria again. I don't know why, it's always so tricky. Oh, there we go. It's always so tricky for me to find the station. Let's see. So we've got crossovers here. So it looks like the actual junction. Hold on. Yeah, the actual junction's there, one of them. And then the other one is there. So let's measure that distance. So measure distance from there up to there, distance to here. That is, well, that's exactly, oh, well, it's about 50 meters. It's about 50 meters. So, or around 170 feet. So, let's get the ruler back. No, I'm not talking politics. And how long would that be, 170 feet? Well, it would be 170 feet, of course, but you know what I mean. Around there. Oops, I thought I clicked. There. So that's the length of one crossover. So it might be good to have some crossovers before, depending on how much space we have. You can clone tracks in TS22 just like that. I didn't even know that. I really need to familiarize myself with a new editor. When you've worked with the old editor for so long, it's hard to get used to something new. Yeah, you can clone something if you hold Control while moving it. That clones it. Okay, so let's see. Which end should we work from first? We could either work from this end first, imagining that all the lines have just kind of curved in here, and then we sort out all the junctions connecting here, or we could start working from the platforms and kind of connect everything up to getting to the 6 lines. Let's do both. So, firstly, actually, yeah, let's do it like, let's take the inspiration we got from looking at the map and let's use that. Although I will quickly get the ruler spline again. Can I? Yeah, there we go. Just because I wanted to get 170 feet from the end of the platform where the curve would begin, basically. Actually, let's do it from here. 170 feet, because I think that's a good, although that only goes 1 across, and it would have to kind of go 1, 2, well, about 2 across. So maybe instead of 170, maybe like 340 feet. Let's see, how long would that be if we did 340 feet? Like that-ish. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna give us a good radius for the curve. Honestly, Charlotte, you could narrate you could narrate you counting blades of grass and I would listen. You have a very relaxing voice. Aw, thank you. Narrate yourself. Reflexive. I have a very reflexive voice. Okay, so if I bring this up to here, then give it a little bit of straightened track, and then actually, should I do that? Tell you what if I make this just be one track like that those two connect to, and then we'll have another 2 tracks either side of that. So just about like that, and the spacing between the tracks is something that can be tweaked later, of course. Not that we all fall asleep while he's counting blades of grass. Well, you'll have to prove that, because I'll quiz you at the end. I'll deliberately make mistakes in counting, and then we'll see if you can point them out or not. Okay, so I think it might also be good having tracks that come over like that, maybe? So that if you're in this platform, you want to get out, then you can already go on the leftmost platform to go on the left tracks like that, so you're not blocking the middle track. Although the procedural splines don't really like that. Yeah, you can see the little red dots there. That means that it's not been able to generate procedural splines. Maybe I can, if I add a little straight section, which this is, I find, is easier to do in Classic Surveyor. Like if I add a straight section like that. Not sure why that one isn't yellow. So if I add spline points there, and then if I add some more, actually, hold on. Yeah, that's fine. If I add some more there, straighten those, and add some there, straighten those. Now if I add the track in, will that... Yeah, that has generated the procedural junction. Good. Right, so those two are connected. I mean, the two, if you want to go out that side or out that side. So, I suppose it might be a good idea to bundle the tracks together. So we've got these three bundled together currently-ish. If you want to go from that platform over to the left, you can't do that yet. You can go toward the outside, you can go towards the outside. I might... This is the sort of thing that I might have to rework at some point. Like, this is just the first draft. Let's see. So those three there. Then we've got the tracks coming from here. Let's see, how could these be bundled? So we've got 4 tracks that need to come together here. If we duplicated the same thing as we have over here, that might be good. Who knows? Although we've got more space here. Interesting. So let's extend this to about there. Actually, no, I'll draw it out till there, because this needs to come parallel anyway. And then if we say another 340 feet for it to come over, let's see. So actually that would bring it down to around there. That, well, I suppose it might work. It might give enough space. I'm just going to drag that out a little bit more. I'm going to put a spline point in here, re-straighten this bit, and then I'm going to bring this, oops, no, not that. I'm going to get the track and connect that up to here. And then theoretically, I could have a 3-way junction here, like that, which the procedural junction doesn't like. Plus, I don't think it's really very realistic, because if you have it going into a three-way like that, then that means that you've got less tracks for trains to take in. So let's see. I suppose we could merge that track in here anyway. If I add another little straight section, probably from around there to, well, probably there. And then straighten that and move it to the side slightly, so we've got we retain the curve. Add that, put that in there. Does that work as a procedural junction? Yes, it does. Good. So then we've got those three platforms going into one track. Is that good? Probably. Although we may want to start the curve a bit sooner. Because like this, it's heading straight out without going over to the side. Although, we might want to have some sidings in the middle. Tell you what, let's try this as a... Actually, let's save first. And then let's try it as a straightened thing. So I'll have to insert a spline point there, straighten that. Is that already straightened? Because that needs to be unstraightened. And then if I just bring this over to come down in sort of a straight line, and then move that spline point over a little bit as well. That is slightly wobbly, hold on. One trick is, if you've got slightly wobbly track like that, is to put down another piece of track and align it on one side. Like for example here, I'm aligning it to so that the rail is aligned to the end of the sleepers. And then if you do it on the other side as well, then you've basically got a sort of a ruler. You can see it kind of bulges over to the side a bit. Now on this stretch, that needs to go over slightly. If I just do that, does that work? Now you can see that that's still a bit bobbly. Is this bit straightened? No, but it should be. And this is slightly curved. That's almost nice and straight. Actually, I think that's fine. Having a little bit of, having this bulge out to the right slightly to give a bit of a larger turning, a larger curve radius. Or does that look odd? Might look odd. Maybe if I just bring this out slightly more. Just sort of like that. And then over on this side as well. Because now we've changed, actually now we've changed the angle slightly, so I'll need to bring this one in. Just look down there, that looks straight-ish. Does that look better? Yeah, that looks straight. I feel, I hope. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got those three coming in there. Now this needs to parallel. So move that over slightly. Actually move just this point over slightly. Is that good? Seems okay. Although I can move this whole thing over just ever slightly to decrease the radius a bit. Okay, so at I will have to check that all platforms are actually accessible from all points after this. Okay, so those 3 platforms are accessible. So they're on the outmost track. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got 6, 7 coming over. But then this one can split again. So yeah, I think that'll work. We will need... Actually, I'll just clone this bit of track. Twice. And then I can connect that up, and then, which way around would be good? So either, I mean, I suppose we could have double crossovers, maybe. Hold on, is that bit straightened? Yes, good. Okay, so like that. If we had it like that, then if you're on the outmost platform, you can get over a section. Because ideally, actually maybe I should reverse this. Yeah, I'll reverse, well, No, that would be a little bit too steep if I reversed that. I was thinking to maybe reverse the direction of this crossover, because then if you're on the left side, then if you want to continue going further to the left, then you've got all the space you need. But if you want to go to the right, then if you're on this platform, then you'd have to wait until you're all the way back here for your first opportunity to turn over. Whereas this way, I suppose this way it frees up a little bit more space. Tell you what, if I reverse the direction of this, would it be too tight of a curve to really look good? Maybe. Yeah, it's just this bit that looks a little bit sharp. Let's put down P2. Let's see what the wheels look like on this curve. Actually, that looks fine. How about on the other side? It looks a little bit sharp. But okay, I think. Maybe if I moved it back slightly more. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. In which case, I'm going to reverse these. Like that. Plus, I can also just select this spline point and move it a little bit closer to down here, along with this one. So then we've got a little bit of a gentler radius. Sort of like that. Excellent. Maybe not rework the whole thing though. Just go back to the chapter 5 cliffhanger with the lost earring thief reveal and change it to be a stolen letter instead. Ha! Imagine that the whole story where she's talking about, no, I was wearing it to that ballroom dance, and I felt a tug at my ear at one point. Now that I think of it, the Count must have stolen my letter. Freeway junction? I hardly think so. No, three-way, I said. Oh, my repaint. I'd call that acceptable. Was this one? Mm-hmm. Yeah, lovely repaint. Sure. Yeah. So many lovely projects that all need to be finished. Well, not all of them. A lot of them are finished. mainly the repaints. Anyway, let's now copy what's over on this side on the other side. And this is all without any external platforms. I might still have some like external goods, mail stuff over on the left, but we'll see. We will see. Okay, I need to drag this one down to here. And then, actually, I think this might be easier in Classic Surveyor, because I can see the spline points a bit easier this way. See, if I were doing this in Unity or Blender, I would just select this object, scale it by -1 on the x-axis, and then move it over. But that's not really an option here, unfortunately. So we'll have to do it bit by bit. So this one comes over to about there, I think. I'm looking at this specific spline point there, that one. So the lower part of it is just below the yellow line. As for where it's moved to, I think about there. Let's measure the distance between, well, where it's on the yellow line. Well, actually, no, let's do it from here. Moving directly leftward to there. That's about 24 feet. So from here over, that's about 21 feet. So it just needs to be moved left ever so slightly to about, well, there, I think. A little bit more. Just to about there. Okay. Yeah, only the repaints are finished. But yeah, someday. Someday I do want to make the BR class 471 mainline network too, which was proposed but never made it into actual production. Maybe even for this route. Would be fun. Yeah, I mean, if you made that, then yeah, sure. Okay, so now this needs to come down. I need to get this angle working right. I think about like that. Actually, if I check the radius of the curve, where's get radius? Show curve radius. So that's actually it's okay. If I get it on where the line is, that's around 197. It's 190. So I need to move this spline point outward slightly. That's wrong. That's 221 now. I think it's probably close enough. Let's just say it's close enough and move on. So next place this point sort of there. And that point there. Ooh, actually no. I will, just to make sure that these are straight and completely parallel, I will instead copy these tracks like so, and then I will connect that, even though that's moved the actual spline point slightly. Okay, so we've got that bit. Now I just need to mirror it. Well, I need to parallel it with the other track that runs, well, parallel to it. And by the way, if you're watching the stream, I should have probably said this in the beginning, but if you're watching the stream and have feedback about the layout of this crossover junction thing, and you might have ways of improving it, I would love to hear those, because if I can make this more realistic, then, well, that's just better for everybody. Oh, and there's the classic ruler in Classic Surveyor. Kind of looks like a cat's eye when it's that short. Slit pupil. Okay, so like that, and then the outer one connects inward, and then we've got the outer one. Okay, so right, I need to copy this over. So this is actually no, it doesn't work like that. Sorry. So this, where this spline point is, if we move it over the middle, it's just touching the yellow line, and it's in the middle of the other track. So just, actually, when I say just touch, yeah, just touching. So it's just touching like that. So that would put that spline point there. And the other one where the junction is, that the edge of that spline, well, actually, okay, so it's just sort of over the middle of the gray line, and here the edge is just halfway between the rail and the end of the sleeper. So it's just sort of over the middle of the gray line, and now I'm just going to move it to the left until the edge is over the middle between the rail and the edge of the sleeper, like that. That should be the same curve. Then connect that up there. Oh yeah, the blue isn't PBR texture, so we get artifacts. Now this just should connect in there, and that isn't completely straight, which means it's slightly messed up. If I move this over a little bit, maybe a little bit, well, I move this bit over slightly. Getting better. How does that look? Yeah, that, to me, it's almost right. This dot needs to be moved over slightly, like that. That, to me, looks straight. Okay. Right, so that's done. So the outmost two platforms, actually, if we just have a look at the tracks like this, not the platforms. So from the outermost edge, you can cross over by one track, and then from the innermost, from the next ones over, these ones you can't cross over inwards at all currently, but these ones you can. Actually, hold on. Maybe, what if we added tracks like that? Then you would already be able to cross over by one from those platforms as well. Yeah, so then if you're on that platform or on this platform, you can already get one closer in, which means that now we only need two lines coming in, so one three-way junction over here, and then we're already halfway across with the middle ones, if that's what we want to do. I mean, if you just want to use the least amount of junctions possible, then of course it would be ideal to just condense everything down to a single track and then expand everything out again. But this way, if you've got a train that wants to exit this platform, another one that wants to enter, the platform over on the left would be a better example. A train that wants to, well, actually it doesn't matter, but it's fine. Enter or exit that platform. If we didn't have this track here, then the train would have to wait all the way back here until we've come across those crossovers. But this way, the train can already come in all the way to here until that train's gotten out of the way, and then it can come in. Maybe compare back with the actual Victoria Station, again, for reference. Well, with the actual Victoria Station, you've got the underground platforms. Will you have a Catford parody as well as route? Not sure. Okay, what era are you going for here? Extra junctions is an old thing. Well, I'm going for modern era, but the actual track layout is probably quite an old layout, because the station was built originally in probably like the 1850s, 1840s maybe even. Very common now to sort trains far before the terminus. Very interesting. Although here we don't have that much space before the terminus, because we've already got the junction here where we've got one line going off to the right and one line going off to the left. And the line to the right only has 2 tracks, and the line to the right has 2 tracks, the line to the left has 4 tracks. So we already need to be able to go from, unless we want to have some platforms not accessible from the other side. But we'd already have to go from this platform all the way over to the left, well, the second to rightmost track to be able to go over there. Which means that being able to cross over here already might be useful in this specific case. I'm going to go ahead and keep those junctions for now, and I might rework it later, we'll see. Although, looking at the clock, we've only got 3 minutes left. Actually, tell you what, I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this line up here, and to keep the same length. Yeah, I'm going to cut it there to keep the same length. I'm going to add the spine points. But yeah, that's very interesting. I didn't know that they tend to sort the trains way before the station. When you say sort, do you mean, like for example, if you've got a 4-track main line, would you have like crossovers all the way back there where it already goes over onto that track and then another set of crossovers? Or like how do you have, like, are there some maps you can recommend for me to look at that might exemplify this, or is it just look at big stations? Right, so the layout on the approach to Glasgow Central is interesting to me. Very similar. 4 + 2 from a branch, then a ton of lines, then a complicated throat to the station. Ooh, that's interesting. Interestingly enough, the Glasgow network is always also something that Eagle recommended me to look at, like the network around there. I'll have a look at that. Actually, hold on. I might as well quickly pull that up now. Glasgow, Queen Street, I'm assuming. Or is Queen Street one word for the station? No, it is 2 words. Queen Street Station. And okay. So we've got a little bit of something there, and then it goes underground for a whole while. Glasgow Central. Okay, that makes it a lot easier to see, probably. Let's have a look. Oh, right. Well, that's... Okay, so we do have some lines where you can already begin to cross over left and right where the platforms end, basically. But they haven't really condensed the lines at all yet. Up to Actually, here it starts being condensed. You have lines, yeah, you've got lines merging in to the outermost line, but you've already got junctions where the lines begin to cross over towards the center, basically as soon as possible. At least for the side tracks. And then you've got crossover, yeah, you've got like parallel, okay, you've got that merging in, and you've got a crossover there. But like if you look here, you've got like two parallel crossovers there. It doesn't actually reduce the number of tracks, you've already just got parallel crossovers. Same thing there. And now this is really hard to see now. Well, this way is also hard to see. Yeah, and then you've got kind of two parallel crossovers there. You've got this crossing over, you've got that crossing over. Right, and here you've got a whole bunch of, yeah, whole bunch of what looks like diamonds? Maybe double slip? Oh, this looks like it's sort of a yard or something. Or is this the actual part of the actual throat? Does this have any sort of yard functionality? Or is this just the throat where they come into the station? Because here it splits out onto a whole bunch of tracks, where it looks like each track here kind of splits off to the right. So you've got the tracks going left, where one of them merges, and then you've got a whole bunch of them going to the right. And then here you've got basically occasional... Ah, right, it looks like this one goes over onto that side. And this is where it splits off. Okay, ah, right, this is where you've got the 2-4. Here it looks like... Is that a junction? It looks... yeah, I think that's a junction there. So you've got parallel crossovers there and here. Okay. Right, so it looks... Yeah, so we've got two parallel crossovers... Well, we've got crossovers coming in here so that you can get from the right track over to the left and then over all the way to the left if you need to. And then these tracks go over to the left, and then you're kind of stuck here, and then you can cross over to the left, and then over to the left. Now, if you're... So basically, from even before they merge, you've already got junctions that take you over to the other side. Now, for the double track main line, there is a crossover here. Is there one going the other way back here? There's one going the other way back here, but that might be related to the line that joins in. So you've got those two tracks coming in here. They split off to the right, so you've got a single track connecting it to the right platforms. Sorry, right tracks. And then this splits up to 4 tracks. And then you've just got crossovers going this way and that way. And then it goes back in. Okay, interesting. So it looks... I'll reach out in a moment, but what I can gather from my brief look at this is there are a whole bunch of crossovers basically as soon as the platform ends, as soon as you can manage to cross over, to get trains from the outside further inwards, including some parallel crossovers like here. And then as soon as there's space, it splits up into a whole bunch of tracks that then are basically bundled into the 2 lines that join together, where you've got a couple of tracks that lead over to the other side, but probably most traffic just goes straight without crossing over, which makes sense. So you've basically got 2 bundles, and then 2 or 3 connections, like 1 to 2 lines that connect over to the other side. And then you've already got some crossovers before that junction happens to get trains onto the other side of the line to be ready to come over. those are kind of the main points, I think. I'll read chat. Right. The other one, wasn't it Cardiff, Queen Street? I'm not sure, maybe. Certain approach lines are used for certain services. This cuts down the amount of crossing over in the immediate station vicinity. Makes sense. More than half the station condenses to 4 lines on the bridge. Services for the branch are mostly on the west end to free up the main 4. Makes sense. Some of the central area, Bridge Street, was carriage sidings, but you can see there's ways to rearrange even half a mile out. That just looks like a big old bowl of confusion. I think you've summed it up pretty nicely there, Mr. Snipes. Right, so this area sees something like 60 train movements per hour at peak times, so it works somehow. Yeah. Okay, so I think what I'll do here then is, since this is again, I mean, I'm quite lucky that this is the sort of the same layout with 4 and 2 coming in. So I think I'll have some crossovers to get towards the center already out here. And then, actually, hold on. I will, just to make this a little bit clearer for myself, I'll move these tracks over slightly. Okay, so a couple of crossovers already here, so you can already get onto the left tracks. And then at this point, I'll already want to have had two-way crossovers, like from left to right or right to left, on the 2 tracks as well that come over this way. And then once we're already here, then basically just finish having crossovers so that from this platform you can get out all the way onto the other side if needed. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's good. I'm also going to keep this double crossover because I saw that on the map. But yeah, I need to get a thumbnail. Oops, that's a bug as well. You can't change the field of view in the other editor. Actually, maybe if I move the train in so that's sort of there, that might look nice. Well, actually, I want to show off the track work a bit. Although, actually, might be good to enable to go into classics. Well, actually, I was already in classics. Wait 1 second. To enable the spline points, because that way you'll actually be able to see it a bit better, because the contrast isn't great with a grid. Actually, is there a way? If I actually quickly turn off limit contextual information, then you've got all, yes, this is what I wanted. Because now you've got all of the different junctions on here as well. So that'll make it look even more fun. Hold on. Something like that, probably. 1 second. Something like that. Right, chat. Another locomotive which I think would be excellent for this route would be the BR Class 52 Western, for rail tour sessions and such. Excellent visibility out of the cab, and they were built for the southwestern region of England. Paddington to Kingswear, Plymouth and Penzance. For diesel rail tour session thingies. Change time of day? I think this time of day is fine. You're gonna need to write an instruction manual on how to use everything in this fancy land of switches. Well, luckily those are all going to be automated, so all you've got to do is follow the signals and speed limits, and you're gonna be fine, as long as you also stop for the stations on time. So the tracks cast shadows, and they're betterly visible. Well, I can try. Well, I suppose they are a little bit better visible like that. Yeah, because like this they do blend. I think that grants a little bit better visibility with a reflection. Okay, so actually this doesn't close with that. So do that, take a screenshot. That looks good. Although I will take another one from a little bit further away, because I've just remembered that there's going to be space taken up by the banner at the bottom. So there we go. Now I just need to reset the time of day and re-enable all the stuff. By all the stuff I mean limit contextual information, because and also move the train back onto its proper track where it's out of the way. This is going to be so much fun, having sessions where the player comes into the station, we've got trains departing and coming in and all that sort of thing. Also, an idea that I've had is having like special lines have certain paint schemes. Like, for example, having, I don't know really how well it would work with this layout, but having like a coastal express or something like that. I mean, granted, the main line does pretty much end there anyway, but having like a coastal express that goes down through, or like a scenic train, like a tourist train that goes maybe along this way. It comes out here, goes along this way, past Duckley, goes straight on, and then here it maybe, instead of going over to the main station, it takes the Y onto the coastal line, runs along the coast here, and then all the way into Hadley Head. And then go, yeah, because that way it'll run along all the coastline and still come from that station. Because that way, it would also look a lot more interesting to have all these different liveries for the different lines going through. Plus, of course, also Steam specials and stuff. Right, so time for a chat, and then we're gonna end the stream. So the tracks right, we're at that. Right, lovely. Good. Such a great idea. Honestly, I wouldn't mind helping out with repaints too when it comes to it. Yeah, thank you. I appreciated your help with the MVR repaints as well. Choo-choo Sundays, sightseeing ticket deals? Yeah, we could have a coupon day or something, if you get the reference. Right, so that's it. Sign me down. Right. So, thank you all very much for watching and hopefully washing as well. And yeah, this will be archived on YouTube. And good night, everybody. Bye-bye.